What does risk mean to you? I think we all have some connection to risk. We all have some consideration of what risk means to us, but it all differs. How much risk are you willing to take? How affected are you willing to get in the world of risk, to put it that way, in order to get the results that you want? And I think that especially when you're starting a business like I do and similar people, and you are kind of creating something new, you're taking a big leap. For instance, from a regular job to starting a business or some other grand venture, you're taking a leap of faith into a new life, and the risk that comes with it. But it's so I wanted to take this video to make some reflections about risk, because I think that the term risk in itself is just the possibility of losing the possibility or losing something, the possibility of something bad happening. But I think it's important to also understand that there are different types of risk, and that some risks are positive and that some are more negative. And therefore I would like to make the distinction between productive and destructive risk. So productive risk, I'm basically meaning, okay, there is something you're doing that, although it's uncertain, you're still having the potential to learn from it. In the long term, you can still grow from it. And I think that is something that is especially important to consider about business. Okay, when you're starting a business, you don't know what is really going to happen, especially if you're doing this the first time you're starting your own business and you may not have experience with doing that before. Then it's definitely a risk, right? Okay, financial risk, not say the least. And also it's a matter of, okay, putting time and effort into this and not knowing how it will turn out. But I call it productive risk because it has, not only does it have some potential for great results, it's also helps you grow as a person. There are also a lot of lessons to be learned, even when you even if it doesn't end up as you expect. Like, you're going to be punched in the face a lot of times, and just gotta learn and readjust. But that is what you grow from in the long term, and that is what I think is important to consider when it comes to risk in this way. So yeah, starting a new business, learning a skill, moving to a new city, all these things are examples of things that are risky but could potentially help you grow a lot as a person. And even if things may go bad for a little while, you are still learning from it, and you're still growing, and you're willing to put yourself out there and taking the risk of discomfort, and maybe even some humiliation. If like, you're completely new to this, you're still learning and you're going to make some mistakes on the way, but you're willing to do that because you want to grow. You're willing to try, you're willing to make the effort, and that's a risk as well. That if you're not willing to take that risk, you won't grow as much as you could otherwise. But so this is what I consider more of the productive risk, because you are growing a lot from it as a person, and you have some idea that, okay, I want to do this. And this also comes into the matter of the perception part, because it's not just about what you're doing, but which mindset you're putting into it as well. If you're only focused on the absolute results and want the results as quickly as possible, then you're likely not going to put in the same amount of work and effort as you would if you have the mindset that, okay, either way how this going to go, I'm going to learn a lot from it and I'm going to grow a lot from it. And that's a very different mindset than the other category, the destructive risk, because if you put yourself through destructive risk like that is willing to cause you harm or negative consequences without much potential gain in the long term, or just short term gain over long term gain, then you're not really growing for long term. You're taking the short term over what is actually going to happen in the long term. And like examples of this, of course, is excessive gambling, illegal activities, and neglecting health for short-term pleasures. And you're not really growing a lot from that kind of that type of risk, to put it at least. That's not the kind of activities you may think of generally when you're thinking, okay, I'm going to take a risk that's going to change my life, that's going to make everything better. Or maybe you think, some people might think, especially if they're in desperate situation, that okay, if I only do this illegal activity or something, or excessive gambling, if only I win this, then okay, we're going to earn a lot of money, we're going to get, and then our lives are going to change. But then with gambling, it's like a million, one in a million shots. It's not something you're growing from and learning from, and you're just sending out money and taking it all up to luck instead of actually developing your skills and making yourself valuable and useful and earning your money that way. And in the second case, for illegal activities, right? Okay, you're taking the short term over the long term. Like, even if it works out in the short term, you're still going to get caught in the end. Everyone does, right? Everyone does who tries it that route. And then what's the point? You get years in jail, 10 years, maybe even life. So what's the point? It's and that's why I'm calling those types of activities destructive risk. And that it's with a productive type of risk. To take more productive risks, that you are going to grow the most, you're going to grow the fastest. And that's what I think is important. You're growing in the long term. You're growing into the person who deserves to get great results, who deserves all the outcomes and result. Okay, you're willing to put in the effort, you're willing to change, you're willing to put yourself out there, and maybe make a few mistakes on the way, but you're going to learn from them, and you're going to get better, and then you're going to try again and again and again and again until it works out. And that type of productive risk, I think is really, really powerful. And so yeah, just consider risk not only, okay, are you going to win or lose in terms of visible rewards, but also taking the lessons part as well. That the lessons you learn on the way, that even if you make some mistakes or things go bad once in a while, then you're going to learn from those lessons and you're going to grow from it. And that is a really powerful part about productive risk as well. It teaches you resilience, you get more knowledge, wisdom, and you get better at adapting. It's not when you get into a really comfortable life, you get into a situation where you're not very adaptable or flexible. If something bad happens, if something outside of your control happens to you, and that kind of, for instance, you get fired, you lose your job or something along those lines. And okay, what are you going to do? You didn't prepare for this to happen. You thought you were safe in that job, but apparently not. Okay, so what you're going to do now? Okay, you don't know. You have to think about all these things and learn all those lessons from scratch. So yeah, that's bit about my thoughts about risk, the difference between productive risk and destructive risk. So yeah, let me know, guys. What do you think about risk? What is your take on risk? Maybe share your own experiences, your own opinions in the comments below, and let's have a discussion about risk, because risk is a powerful thing when used right, and or it's power. It can be powerful both with helping us get up and or bring us up or bring us down in depending on how our perception of it and how we use it to live, so to speak. So yeah, I'm going to leave it off here. It's been a bit over 10 minutes. So yeah, I hope you all guys have a great week so far, and wish you all the best. See you.